You're good. All right, we are on. Good afternoon, everybody. We are here for the Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023 regular Board of Trustees meeting. Ms. Kraft, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Faust?
Here.
Ms. Knapp? Here. Mr. Ringel?
Here.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Do we have any public comment? Okay, hearing none. Any announcements?
We had our zoning open house last week. We thought that was pretty successful. Got a lot of resident feedback. I don't know, Robin, if you have anything more to add to that. But
If residents weren't able to attend, but they have, want to participate, and we talked about putting the boards on the website. I assume that's not done yet, right?
yes, we just got the boards,
Yes.
and then we have some like a summary of the results. So I'll share that with you all, and we can also put that on the website.
Okay, great. Anything else?
I do.
Okay. All right. Any agenda changes?
I do have a couple under operation. Well, let me go with the consent agenda. We are removing the first item, purchase order, which is the MES. It's a tool purchase that will be removed from the agenda. And then under operations report, we'll have an additional 2 items. One will be an REA for Woodstone Drive, and then another for the disc golf tournament.
All right. Did we have any questions on the consent agenda?
No.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-207, approving the electronic record of the proceedings from the regular trustee meeting on July 19th, 2023, and a motion to approve Resolution 23-208, approving purchase orders, then and now purchase orders, and blanket purchase orders as listed.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. All right. Our zoning report, Rob.
Oh, I do want to add to the agenda the pool pass refund or rain check policy.
Can we discuss that in new business? Is that okay? Okay, sorry. Robin?
Good afternoon, trustees. Brief zoning hearings and meetings report. We do have a Board of Zoning Appeals meeting scheduled for Thursday, August 17th at 6 p.m. here at Township Hall. We have a few items on that agenda. The first is a conditional use application for a property located at 1550 Lewis Center Road to allow for a residential apartment above a commercial storeroom, which is a conditionally permitted use in that zoning district. We have one deck and concrete patio encroaching into a 35-foot rear yard setback on Fargo Lane. And then the Popeyes signage request, they have modified their request from the previous month's hearing and are applying for additional variances based on their updated plans. Then we have our 2 tabled applications, one for the Board of Trustees for Route 23 Corridor Overlay District application, which is still tabled, and the proposed place of worship on Vail Canyon Road. I do not have updates on either of those.
That conditional use for the apartment is above, on Lewis Center, is above like Wits and
Yes,
Lewis Center
correct.
Barber and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff? Okay. And then Popeyes, I did notice, I was over there this morning in that area. They're knocking it down. Okay. Anything else zoning? Okay. Operations? That's
Good afternoon, Board. On the operations agenda, first item is a challenge partnership between the Army Corps of Engineers and Elm Creek as well as the Township. This agreement generated, genesis of this probably goes back 6-7 months, maybe even longer, when the decision to expand Northwood Park came. When the original creek fish that existed at Northwood Park, it seemed it was a temporary solution to provide crickets to our residents. So a crick fish could be put in up there, when the park was expanding, that crick fish became small.
With the parking lot expanding, you mean?
Yeah, the parking lot's expanding, doubling the size, first on the existing cricket field. So we've been working with the Army Corps of Engineers on a little bit of their open space to potentially move and construct a new cricket field for residents. So the agreement before you is with the Army Corps of Engineers out of Huntington in Township to allow us to construct a cricket run and a cricket field that the Army Corps of Engineers draw on the south. Which should provide a much bigger, much more permanent space than was provided by the township. Next thing on versus agenda, as Ms. Bonnie mentioned, agenda changes. One being this golf event on August 27th, served by our resident of Township Tom West, the greatest event passed. Now that the last basket of this golf course is complete, his requested use of the park on the 27th for an event. This agrees to not sell anything. It should be a relatively simple event with no impact on the park of the township. We will have one staff person present for the duration of the event as well to assist if there's questions needed. Final thing on the agenda for operations is the REA for Woodstone Drive to have some survey done by the county.
Is that the bike path at the intersection of Woodstone and Blue Center?
Actually within the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Well, the ranging in certain areas is somewhat older and as far as records and drawings, stuff goes to the borders of the county engineers. Help us do some survey work and measure the cost of the drainage compared to first design.
So questions about the Army Corps partnership with the cricket, and I know you've been working on this for a long time, so thank you for all your work with them. Cost is like, are we paying for it? Are they paying for it? What's that?
Good question. So the cost side of the cricket field, the cricket ground should be pretty minimal to the township. The agreement is around $7,000 of front investment. The majority of that is really going to be building the runoff area. 84 foot by 10 foot runoff area, similar to what's at Florida Park right now. It would be back to stone with a sort of overlay on there. It's really good cost. We're not doing either drainage work or leveling or anything. We might be able to see more done once we start the runoff area for that. But as far as upfront initial costs, and maintenance costs, we'll shoot pretty minimal to the township and provide a more sustainable option for cricket that we no longer offer.
And are we maintaining the whole, like as far as like mowing and stuff? Are they still mowing, or we're just maintaining like the runoff area?
Yeah, they're still going to mow. They typically mow every 10 to 14 days, it seems like. So if there's some supplemental mowing needed just at the cricket ground itself, we can come in with the anticipation going forward that we don't want to be responsible for maintaining that runoff area.
And I'm sorry, where did you say this is located in Allen Creek?
South of the dam,
So if I'm driving in, like I'm going to play at the park, right, the below the dam park. So is it to the right there?
correct. It'll be off on the northeast of their existing parking lot, existing shelters. They just constructed the restaurant facility as well.
Okay.
That they opened up this past spring. It's relatively an unused space for them. They're looking for a low impact opportunity. It's a really great partnership for the township to be able to utilize federal land for recreational opportunities for our community and still be in our Corps of Engineers. Great to work with. Really appreciate their willingness to collaborate. That shows the power of partnerships.
Yep, definitely.
It's right here, right? Is that Silas? Mike?
Oh, that's Sled Hill is?
Yeah,
So can you put the area again, Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay. Over there. Gotcha. And have the residents who use the cricket pitch that we currently have, are they aware of the location change?
yeah, thank you for asking that question. We've had 3 main cricket clubs throughout the area that generally use the Northwood Park cricket pitch. 2 of them have been very engaged in the process of designing new grounds and how it's going to work and other regulations and stuff. But they've been very engaged, very rooted on the grounds and excited to see it go forward so they can have more space and vehicles and all that stuff.
Great. We are excited to be able to have this in that space. So thank you. And then will the space at North Road Park that's currently cricket pitch, will that be then returned to soccer field?
It'll go more back to a multi-use concept where we're able to host younger soccer fields full-size fields.
Okay.
The plan is right now to leave the existing area
Okay.
and run smaller fields for lacrosse, flag football, soccer, whatever it be, sideways on there, so there are full-size fields up there. This will
Right.
allow us to get some fields to break, so I can breathe and regrow and all that too. So it'll definitely add some more parking space.
Great.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Excited about that. Okay. Any other operations things?
I had a question for the disc golf tournament. If individuals want to participate in that tournament, how do they go about finding out more information about the tournament?
I believe the township will be able to share some of the information on us without advertising for it. But the ultimate disc golf club is the entity putting that at our own residence on.
And are they paying your employees' time? Thank you.
We don't have a fund. What that is overall scope of the township. Whole part where they have that they will pay around the shelters all day, as well as cost of offset duration of their events out, trash.
But if a resident, is going on their Saturday morning walk or whatever day of the week this is, they're still able to go through. Just it's not
Right, the
closed.
park will be
Okay.
closed. It will just be busier than normal.
Okay.
The shelter will be technically running this
Right.
month. We have one.
Great. Anything else? Right. And make a motion to approve Resolution 23-209, authorizing execution of the agreement between the Department of the Army represented by the District Commander, U.S. Army Engineer, Huntington District and Orange Township for recreational cricket.
Second?
Mr. Ringgold?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Okay, I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-210, authorizing Township Administrator execution of a request for engineering assistance with the Delaware County Engineers Office regarding Woodstone Drive.
Second?
Mr. Ringgold?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. And then for our disc golf tournament, do we have a consensus that we can have the tournament? That's just a consensus. That's yes. Great. All right, Chief, our fire report. Thank you, Silas.
Deputy Work, I just have two quick things. First of all, is to, the new boating service, the older boat that we have, so that we've been selling it to Dresden, with the Dresden Fire Department. So we worked with them, purchase, cost, and
Okay.
And the second thing is for for our canopy has stopped our lift system. Doesn't use it, was there prior to him. It's there. So we're going to put down no deals with that. But things that give them supply. That's a cost.
Yeah, Bill and I talked to, within the last month or two about the selling of that lift system. So, fine with it. We still have a 4-point lift system. This is a 2-point lift system, so that's what we use to lift our, any of the vehicles that we need to be. He needs to be servicing.
This system's not been used. Been in there and the other system.
Okay. Any other questions, fire related?
No, how much are we selling it for?
Is that the lift system?
That's the boat.
That's
The boat. The boat's 45.
Yeah,
whatever we get.
It's an online auction site, correct?
Yeah.
For government entities.
But the boat's the 4,500.
Yeah, we did some research and, in 2005, boat, water, comes up to 5 the highest.
I'm glad that another community can use it and it's not just going to a scrapyard. So
Yeah, they actually had 2 water responses. Months that we talked about this, so.
over at Dresden. All right, I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-211, authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into an agreement authorizing the sale of a watercraft to the Village of Dresden of Muskingum County, Ohio, pursuant to Revised Code 505.101.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Okay, make a motion to approve Resolution 23-212, finding certain personal property not needed for public use, obsolete or unfit for the use for which it was acquired to have no value, and ordering it to be auctioned on GovDeals Inc. to be discarded or salvaged.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. All right, Ms. Kraft, our school report.
Yep, just one quick thing. Actually, two, I guess. We'll hit the resolution first. This is just catching up from a couple months ago. We put something on the agenda, and you guys approved the addition of $1,000 in appropriations for credit card fees. So this is just getting the appropriations balanced between us and Delaware County because we sent it to them, and we just needed to fix things on our end. And then secondly, I did personally hand deliver the levy packet Thursday of last week and have the stamped receipt in my office if anybody needs to see that. Okay. That's it.
Any fiscal questions?
I have none.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-213, revising and/or increasing permanent appropriations established in Resolution 22-384.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Okay. Michelle, the administration.
A few items, and for the first one, which actually consists of 5 resolutions, this is in regards to sick and vacation leave for the new firefighters that we hired. So we have their hours of transfer in place, ready to approve this afternoon. The second one is Delaware County Regional Planning Representatives. Recently, I resigned from the executive committee of the Regional Planning Commission, mainly as in my administrative role. I'd like to try to complete my loose ends with zoning and have our zoning director, Robin Duffy, be more involved with that. So the representatives, I would like Robin as the primary representative, and I can remain as the alternate until next year when Robin's fully staffed. And then the third item under administration report is I will be leaving for vacation on August 16th through the 29th, and as I've done in previous vacations for this amount of time, I'd like to appoint an acting administrator, which I would recommend as Mike Kremnitzer.
Are you up for the job?
I am.
It's a big one. So you will not be at our next meeting, so Mike will be running it.
I will not be, correct.
On a vacation.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other administration questions?
None for me.
I have none.
Okay. I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-214, accepting transfer of 350.25 hours of sick leave to the credit of firefighter paramedic Harvey Bachman.
Oh, sorry.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Make a motion to approve Resolution 23-215, accepting transfer of 248.16 hours of sick leave to the credit of firefighter paramedic Scott Richards.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Make a motion to approve Resolution 23-216, recognizing prior full-time Ohio Township service of Scott Richards for the purpose of vacation accrual calculation.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Make a motion to approve Resolution 23-217, recognizing prior full-time Ohio Township service of Ryan Tutero for the purpose of vacation accrual calculation.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Make a motion to approve Resolution 23-218, accepting the transfer of 360 hours of sick leave to the credit of firefighter paramedic Ryan Tutero.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Make a motion to approve Resolution 23-219, appoint Robin Duffy as Regional Planning Representative.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Make a motion to approve Resolution 23-220, appoint Michelle Bonney as Regional Planning Alternate Representative.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Make a motion to approve Resolution 23-221, appointment of Mike Kremnitzer to Acting Township Administrator from August 16th to August 29th, 2003, and establishment of compensation.
Second?
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes. Okay. We did. Any old business?
I do not, just the new business.
And then the new business.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to discuss the possibility of, for residents and their friends who come to our pool, which is, those are the only people that come these days, pretty much, right? Because
Yeah, they would have to be joining with a resident.
yeah, right, yeah. So it's always residents or their friends. And we've had the problem over the years where there's inclement weather and someone gets there and they can't swim at all. And I know we have the no refund policy, but I was going to suggest having some kind of a, like a rain check program where if you're not there for like, I think an hour maybe or anything, if you should get at least 1 hour swimming, I think, maybe 2, I don't know. But 1 hour, and then if the pool gets closed, then we could, upon request, keep. I was thinking this through, and I thought it'd be too hard maybe to hand out coupons or whatever, but maybe just ask them to keep a list in the back office, up on the wall or whatever, where someone has a rain check available if they come back.
Okay.
And that way, that would preclude any kind of like transfer of the rain check or forgery or whatever.
Passing it to somebody else.
Yeah, passing or selling it on eBay. But this has happened quite a bit, especially I think this year with all the rain. And I just would like people, and I think that would make people more comfortable even coming to the pool because they know they'll at least get to swim for an hour. It might even
I think an
increase
hour.
revenue.
Yeah, I think I'm good with an hour. I feel like, Silas, can you check, like if I'm a guest, right? So like Lisa comes with me, she doesn't have a pool pass. Do you write down like what time they come in? I know they have to fill out some sort of form. That says, like, how do I know that they only were there for an hour versus they were there for 5 hours and then arranged? That's something.
Correct. We take their information for emergency purposes, like a waiver, if you will, but we do not mark times or anything like that.
Could we add times? Could we just add a little line that's the
I guess it's plausible. I mean, it's plausible.
Yeah, that would seem to be easy.
What if it was extended more beyond an hour, but kind of like a half day? So if you knew that the pool was going to be closed a half day and people had paid for full day entrance and they'd been there that morning, you would know that you could give them some kind of rain check
I feel like
on the way
people
out for a half day.
Well, if you're coming,
I think 2 hours, maybe 2 hours.
maybe 2 hours.
I'm just thinking of a way
Well,
that
I think as far as like the time slot, if it was like AM or PM, is that
The
what you're
problem is
trying
the
to
pool
think
opens at 11.
instead of writing a specific time to it?
I'm just wondering if there maybe we need to have additional discussion, additional thought on what kind of administrative burden
That's what I was
doing
thinking. If we just
recording would.
To the list, if we just add to the paper that they have to fill out, because like if I brought Lisa today and then I also brought her next Thursday, does she fill out as a guest something every time?
No. Only the first time you attend the pool do you fill out a waiver. So once you're in the system, in our RecDesk software, we can check that you've already been there before and you don't have to go through the process of buying a day pass every time. And I'll add this, when this issue came about last Friday, this is the first time it's happened in 3 years I've been here. It's not a common occurrence whatsoever. And I know from talking with our pool staff, our pool management team, they're very clear when the pool is not open, whether it be through weather or lightning delays or whatever the issue would be. If there's another safety incident at the pool, they stop selling daily passes until that's rectified, and they communicate that people coming in to purchase day passes that they're not currently open. So again, the weather has not been an issue in years. I don't know, as Mr. Engel mentioned, the administrative issue. I'd like to be able to collaborate with fiscal a little bit and see what kind of impact that would have on them as well. But just want to make it known that hasn't been an issue up till this past Friday, and the pool barely opened at all on Friday.
What do you mean hasn't been an issue?
We've had 0 requests for rain checks, 0 requests with weather delays or
Yeah, well, but
anybody requesting refunds because we haven't given
oh
them
yeah,
to
that's
us.
because it says no refund. So most people, I mean, I've heard some grumbling about it in the past, but it hasn't been quite as. I feel like this year was so the rain and the pop-up showers. I think about this every few years. There's a crazy summer where there's a lot of rain. I don't think it was that way last year, but it says no refund. So mostly, unless someone's really upset, we don't. We don't hear about it. But there was a lot of people that have grumbled, just kind of grumbled to me in passing. Mostly ones that had at least gone for a small amount, but I mean, they can't anticipate entirely if it's going to rain or not. But
Well, how about I look?
I mean,
at,
I think you need to also, because I mean, as a frequent pool user, I mean, you have elements in the pool, there's a bio issue, there's all kinds of things that happen that could close the pool for a period of time.
So would we?
Yeah, it could be maybe any issue, because I think someone should get at least an hour or two of pool time. And then it would be, and because remember, we're going to be closing the pool anyway, and they're not using it, so that's just free money for us. I feel like that I think it would encourage more people to feel more comfortable coming if, well, it's kind of cloudy, it doesn't show rain, and then all of a sudden there's a pop-up storm.
If the board's okay with this, I'd like to work with Stylus Fiscal and actually and CPM too, because they're the ones that will be on hand doing this. So let me see what based on some feedback, what we can do.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined for the rain check, and probably just make it valid the same summer.
Right. Yeah. Not definitely not.
Yeah, unless it was like
clear at the end.
Unless it was like more Labor Day and it was a huge rainstorm, but
Yeah, we are getting close to the end. I mean, well, kind of. This full season, we have like a month.
We're 2 weeks away from school starting, so things die down quite a bit then, and then Labor Day is when we end.
But
So
the hours stay the same during school. Is that when school
no, we
starts?
go from after school, so 3 to 8 p.m. when school starts.
wait, does that help with your question of the? I don't feel like I was
Continuing
understanding.
that thought, if, say, for instance, you have a thunderstorm that pops up late morning and the pool's going to be closed for 30 minutes, an hour, but the pool would reopen later that afternoon, if people were to try and claim a rain check at that point, and then get free entrance to another full day at the pool when really there's just a temporary closure of the pool. So just thinking through all of the different scenarios in which you might want to issue a rain check.
Yeah.
I feel like CPM might have some data. I mean, they manage a lot of pools, so maybe we can.
And maybe if
think
it's closed
somebody
for
else does
an
it.
hour or more or something, but then if they're there for less than, if they're not able to swim for like 2 hours or less, an hour or less, but.
I mean, generally speaking, from being at the pool a little bit here and there and talking with people don't, on days that are cloudy and overcast, there's really results at the pool. So people generally do a check of the forecast, check of the weather if they're going to spend their day outside. So the pop-up storms, they're usually quick, don't have any impact. If it's a day-long thing, people usually plan for that and don't come to the pool. Our numbers are usually significantly down on day passes on days that are going to be gloomy and overcast and just not good pool days. So again, as Michelle said, it's something we can talk through and maybe find a good path forward and get some feedback from CPM as well.
Yeah, so if not very many people go on those days, then that wouldn't be much of a burden. It would just be a few people, probably.
I mean, this is the first one in 3 years that's come up, so.
We'll look at it.
Yeah, and that the lady that wrote in, she said everyone's super kind. I know her email didn't sound like that. She sounded like she was upset, but when I talked to her later, she said she wanted to know.
Here.
Everybody's super nice, everybody. So that wasn't an issue. It was just an issue of the disappointment of driving so far and then not.
Yeah, I
doing
think,
anything.
I mean, just for I would hate to make this change this season. We might want to have it planned for the following season because we wouldn't be able to do it for.
You're not going to get a lot of use out of it.
Yeah.
Especially
So that's just something to think about.
yeah, but if we can make sure it's on top of our mind so we don't forget it.
Oh, we can do it soon. I just would like it to be in effect next
Can we give
season.
that lady a rain check?
We
particular
don't
lady?
have anything in place at this
But
point in time.
we could
I think we would have to
approve it.
try to. I
Could
don't
we
know.
not just do a consensus to offer her admission for however many
Are you
people?
willing to process a refund?
No, it doesn't have to be a refund. It could
Oh,
just be a
okay.
rain check.
So she doesn't.
But
use it.
we don't have any like voucher things right
No,
now.
but we would just tell her to come in and give her name in the pool. I'm sure it could keep track of that.
I don't know that that's appropriate given our currently no refund policy. I'd personally like to see a policy in place allowing for refunds and the
Could we
criteria to issue them before we
Could we
actually
have
issue one.
For the next, I hate to have her wait till.
Well, I would be
After all
hesitant to
that.
have a new policy when we're almost at the pool season. So I'd like, if we do have some type of policy or structure on how to handle this, I'd rather have it be for a full pool. I would recommend it for a full pool season, not just for this one individual.
Yeah, but I think we can do that for an individual. I don't think anything, I mean, how many people are really gonna complain about it? We've done that before, where someone has come in and asked to like use, somebody, I remember the group that asked to use this room for like the prom for disabled children, and we didn't have a policy to actually rent the room out for free at no cost, but we went ahead and did it because we could just pass a resolution, even without a policy. We are able to do that.
You are. I just, it just, the challenge is, because of this one circumstance, that this is the first one we've been aware of this season. It might be in last season might be a precedent that we do just try to keep that in
She
mind.
just took the time to write in, and that was quite a bit of effort.
Well, I need a consensus if that's the case.
My only concern is because we don't have a policy yet. I mean, I definitely feel for the woman.
But we've done that, like I said, when we
Like,
don't have a
definitely a
policy.
room,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't rent this room, but we allowed that group to have their prom for whatever.
At least they were thinking about it. I don't think they ended up using it, but.
No, they didn't because they got a different room. But
Information.
we did go through a lot of hassle, and then we just authorized it because you can have one-off individual circumstances that the board can approve as it wishes. But I mean, I don't foresee a ton of people coming here asking for that, but.
I need to get a consensus from the board if that's the case. So
I'm personally not in favor of not the fact that we would give a refund, but the fact that we would give a refund as an exception to a policy.
Yeah, not a refund. It was a rate check, not a refund.
it would still be a credit of some sorts.
Yeah, but she wouldn't get her money back if she lives an hour away and she never comes back. She wouldn't get it.
And she would have to be if she's a non-resident, she would have to be with that.
With the person, yeah.
What would you like to do?
I'd rather set the policy next year, make it so that it's ready and we have a system and we figured out what. But I appreciate you taking the time talking to her. So thank you so much.
Well, I'll still look into it. I'm happy to. I don't know if anyone's responded to that person, but I can. However, you guys want to approach it.
Yeah, I just think sometimes government can do things that kind of think outside the box and do things.
And I would be happy to reach out, Trustee Knapp, to the woman who contacted us, if you'd like me to, kind of explaining my rationale for why I didn't think an exception would be appropriate at this time. We talk with you more about that.
Anything else?
I have an executive session. Should be brief, but just for us.
I make a motion to approve resolution 23-222, enter into an executive session to consider the sale of property in accordance with section 505.10 of the revised code to prevent premature disclosure of information that would give an unfair bargaining advantage to a person whose private interest is adverse to the general public interest.
Oh, wait, and did I explain the situation with the lady? Did we even discuss it? The lady that wrote in. So she had come to the pool and she wrote into the trustee. She came to the pool with a neighbor and she wasn't allowed to swim at all. And she paid for how many admissions?
I believe 3.
I mean, it's $27 worth.
Is that?
3, yeah.
It was
3,
for herself and 2 children.
Yeah, so 3. So she paid for 3. She didn't get to swim at all, and she came with a resident. So that, in case I didn't completely explain that, that was the situation.
And my understanding is she was told by our staff that the pool was closed. But, they were like on a rain delay.
Well, why would she pay? And then I would just wait around to see if the rain delay.
That is a good question.
I mean, that sounds weird because I wouldn't pay until I knew the pool. I mean, I've sat out of the pool for hours and hours and it kept storming and the disappointment was hard. Second
So second
executive session.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Ringel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Ms. Spouse?
Yes. Okay, and is it elected and fiscal administrator? Okay.
I mean,
You
yeah.
need to say that.
Oh,
Okay.
invited to attend are the elected officials, all 4 of us, and the administrator.
Don't put down the rest of it.
Okay.
Maybe my favorite.
Can I put that in the journal?
We know your favorite town is. You
Move to
only have
strike the
one.
last 5 minutes.
Adjourn.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Or just adjourn the meeting.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-223, return to regular session.
Second.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes, I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-224, meeting adjourned.
Second?
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Mrs. Faust?
Yes, meeting adjourned.